Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. Have I got a really easy project for you? It's using Christmas novelty fabric to create these little funky looking, different shaped drink coasters. And in these you can use either heavy iron-on interfacing, or if you prefer, you can use cotton batting. You can make them any shape you like. Just look for large prints, and on this one, this fabric happened to say Merry Christmas, and look at the shape for this. So let's get started. Not all drink coasters have to be round or square. You can make them any shape you like, and it makes it more interesting and more fun to use. So here is just this little saying that says Merry Christmas. Here's a crazy Santa trying to ski, and then this other one where a reindeer is serving festive holiday drinks. So let me show you how to make this one first, okay? So what you want to do is, whenever I am creating a design, I always draw it on paper first until I get it all worked out. So that's what I recommend that you do. Now, when you are creating a design, you want to measure the area that you need to cover so you know how big to make it. Also, add 1/2 inch to that measurement for seam allowance. So on my particular one, I needed to draw a rectangle 5 1/4 by 7 inches. Then at each corner, take a ruler, push it into the corner like that, and you're going to put little marks at the 1 1/2 inch line. Then take your ruler and turn it, match up those marks, and draw a line. Do that at all 4 corners, okay? Then make sure you do it on cardstock, your final design on cardstock, which I've already done here, okay? So after you've got it on your cardstock, then go ahead and cut on those lines. And this is what I wound up with. I actually have 2 templates here. This one you can use to cut out fabric when there is not any particular design on it that you want to have. This one is a fussy cut template, and this is what you will use to make these fun novelty coasters. So take your fabric, lay your fussy cut template down on top, and center it until you get equal amounts of fabric all the way around. Now, when I was doing this particular one, because this fabric was so dark, my lines didn't really show up. So I turned it over on the back, and luckily my design shows through. So I was able to trace it on the back of the fabric, okay, because then I could see my lines. Now, on this one, I used different fabric on the back because I didn't want to use this on both sides, okay? So, how you put it together is you're going to take your fabrics, and you're either going to use cotton batting in the middle between the 2 pieces, or I use heavy iron-on interfacing, okay? And what it has is glue on one side. So if you decide to use the iron-on interfacing, follow the instructions on the package. It's really simple, and it will require a hot iron and a damp cloth, usually is what they require. Okay, so I'm using the interfacing. So once you've got your interfacing on, place your fabric for the back face up. Then take your top fabric and lay it face down on top. Then go ahead and pin around your edges like this, okay, all the way around. Now you're going to need to leave an opening here, and I recommend about a 2.5 1/4-inch opening. So what I do is I'll put one pin where I'm going to start stitching, which will be here, and then 2 pins where I want to stop. Because sometimes when I'm a little tired and sleepy, I'll come around here and I'll just stitch right over my opening, and then I've got to stop and rip it out. So I've learned, put 2 here. Then right here, do a few stitches back and forth. Then you're going to do 1/4-inch seam from this edge in. So stitch down to this first corner. Leave your needle straight down, lift up the presser foot, and turn it a little bit so that you can stitch down the next side. Stitch to that corner, leave your needle down, lift up the presser foot again, and turn it again. And do that at all corners. And as you come around to here where you need to stop, again, do a few stitches back and forth. So when you reach inside to turn it right side out, this won't pull apart. Okay, just before you turn it right side out, you're going to need to cut some of this fabric off on all of the corners. So you can stitch, or excuse me, clip straight across here like this, then come in a little bit over here and stitch some off, and stitch some off over here. You want to leave just a little bit of fabric on each corner, okay? And do that on all of the corners. Then once you've got your trimming done around the corners, reach in between the bottom fabric and the top fabric and begin pulling it right side out. Now, here is where my opening is. You're going to take something pointed like this, maybe not quite this pointed, but make sure you don't use scissors, okay, or a seam ripper, because it's going to go right through your fabric. So you're going to reach in that opening and go over to these corners and gently poke at them to push them out. And do that at all of the corners. Then take the edges at that opening and fold it inside of the coaster and place some pins to hold it closed. Then continue placing pins around all of the edges to keep it flat all the way around. Then you're going to do a top stitch less than 1/8 of an inch from this edge in, and just do a nice little even stitch. And remember, always at your corners, leave the needle down and the presser foot lifted whenever you turn anything that you're sewing on. Okay, and that's how you do the rectangle. Let me show you how you do this little crazy Santa in the rectangle shape. Okay, so again, measure this area of the fabric. For instance, here's my fabric. So you want to measure the area, then draw your triangle, adding in at least 1/2 an inch, at least 1/2 an inch, okay? Then lay your template down. Remember, you're using the Fussy Cut template. Center that design on the Fussy Cut template, and then trace around it. Now, you can put Santa Claus on just one side, but I did 2 different Santas. I have this, the butt end, as my husband said, of the Santa, and then the other side, the front end of the Santa. So there's 2 different crazy Santas on there. Then everything else is the same. You put your iron-on interfacing or your cotton batting and do everything else the same. Let me show you how to do the circle. Oh, one more thing on this triangle that I forgot to tell you is make sure you cut around all of the corners. You do these little clips with your scissors. You cut in. Okay, so when you're doing your triangle, drawing this triangle, it's going to be rounded. So take something round to draw this, to trace around that rounded shape. Draw the triangle first, and then do that little curve, and don't forget to clip your fabric around all of those corners. Okay, All right, so now let's go on to the circle. Again, you're going to measure the area. So on this one, here's the reindeer serving festive holiday drinks. And what was neat about this fabric is that each one of the reindeers had a different saying underneath. Eat, drink, and be merry, and so forth like that. Okay? So again, measure that area, place your circle on there, center it, and then trace around it. And if it's dark fabric like this shows through on the back. So you can trace on the back if you want to. Okay? All right, then everything else is the same. And remember, on that round one, do the little clips in towards that stitch line all the way around. So let's take a look at all of the coasters again. Here's the reindeer, and Santa's here someplace. There we go. And then here is the rectangle. Okay? These are so much fun. You can get very creative. Remember, they don't have to be just this shape. They can even be the traditional or stick with the round if you like. I hope you enjoyed this video. These are really fun to make. In fact, this is so simple. You can even start teaching your children how to sew. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Happy sewing! I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, would you please click on the thumbs up button, and don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. And don't forget to click on the bell and enter your email address so you'll receive email notifications about my latest video. I'm Cheryl, and this is Manny. See you next time, and happy sewing!